there we go. We're live. I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi is working fine. I'm getting a 1 bar thing up the top of the screen. That's giving me the fear, but we're going to try and roll with it and hope for the best anyway. I'll let you guys in the comments dictate whether or not it's working fine. And I'm hoping it does as we sit here for another live preview show ahead of match day 30. Yes, number 30. In the Cinch Premiership. We are so close to the end. It's unbelievable actually how close we are to the end. We have got such a tough run of games to go, but we're on that final sort of stretch. We're nearly at the split, and tomorrow we have one of our toughest tests on that run of games. We've got the dreaded Tony Macaroni, the Livingston away trip. It's one that I'm not a fan of. It's one I don't think any of us are a fan of. And especially with Livingston picking up a little bit of form recently, it's one that I think a lot of us are certainly a little bit anxious towards. But we head there tomorrow and hope for the best. I see a lot of people getting very smarky about the title of this video. I've titled it, "Is this the day we win at Livy away?" Of course it's not today because the game is in fact tomorrow. But you know, it's the sort of, it's just maybe fun, right? It's maybe fun, lighten up. Anyway, welcome along everybody to the stream. We'll be live for about 10-15 minutes talking everything about the game. We'll do team prediction, we'll do the opposition form and such. We'll dive into that a little bit, the opposition playing themselves. And we'll have a wee bit of a Q&A session as well at the end. So thank you to everybody who is piling in. God bless Easterhouse Emerald. I'll see you all tomorrow. I will be on the bus. I'm looking forward to it. Yes. Aye, I do. I want my £6.80 back, by the way, Matthew Duff. Have you seen this? Right, so before we go any further, a little bit, in case you don't know, I'll put it out there in case you've not seen. If you bought anything at the kiosks, right, on Wednesday night, or even the last couple of games, check. It was Celtic here who pointed this out to me. If you are watching this live and you're watching it back in video form, if you haven't, check your bank account, because if you've bought anything at the kiosks the last couple of games, you might have been charged twice. I've been charged £6.80 twice from Wednesday night. I got chips and curry and a Coca-Cola, or a Fanta, sorry. And fucking hell, I've been charged 13 quid odd for the pleasure. So check your bank accounts. Check you've not been charged twice, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And use me as your reference when you phone up to complain. Aye. So anyway, let's talk about it. Tomorrow it's a big game. It's one of those ones that shouldn't be as difficult as it is for Celtic. But yes, it is. The last time we sat down and spoke about Livingston, I was clipped for my views of the Livingston manager, David Martindale. And I will not hold back once more if it has got to be the same story tomorrow, because Livingston are football terrorists. I hate playing them. It's honestly like against us, they've just got this knack, they've got this vibe that they can just stop us, and it's like we just collapse. You know, we forget how to play football, we forget how to break down teams, and I know that happens time and time again against certain sides, but against Livingston, it's just every time, especially to Tony Macaroni, we just don't seem to be able to play football, and I don't know if it's the surface, I don't know if it's a mentality thing, I don't know if it's just overall the opposition. But we just can't seem to do it. This will be, my 6th visit tomorrow, my 6th visit to Tony Macaroni tomorrow. And I'm still waiting to see Celtic win there for the first time. In fact, we're still waiting for the first win since 2006 at Almond Vale, which is crazy, to be honest. It's absolutely mad to think it's been that long since Celtic have won there. There is deep-rooted issues with this side visiting Almond Vale as a venue, and it's one that we need to get over, and over quickly, because it's transcended through different managers, different sides, different styles. It doesn't feel like it's anybody in particular's problem. It just feels like it's a Celtic problem, and it's something that we really need to get over. Sorry, Aiden's correcting me, 2007. But nonetheless, it's still not a great record, and it's something we really need to get over, and we need to put it behind us, because the quicker we get it behind us, I think the further we can dismiss this same boring old conversation about visiting the Tony Macaroni and the Tony Macaroni being a difficult venue. Just because it's a plastic surface doesn't mean we should struggle. Livingston are a side that Celtic should be comfortably beating home and away. I don't care what their form's like. We should be. That's the reality. We should not be struggling as much as we do. It's okay every now and then to maybe go and struggle, maybe drop points. Fair enough. That happens to the best of sides. You know, maybe once every 2 or 3 years. But the fact that this is now 6 visits without a win there or whatever, That is insane, or it could be. That's insane. We need to get that put behind us, and we need to find out what the problem is, because it's something that I just can't be bothered speaking about for another year or two. I can't be bothered going into next season, going to the Tony Macaroni and opening every single match preview video with, oh, I wonder if we'll win here today, because it's tiresome. It's very, very boring. The narrative needs to change, and only Celtic can change that. Now, the one positive that I can think of when it comes to this game and this narrative going into it is we've been talking about it so much that maybe this is the time we do win, because we're so pessimistic as a support, because we are so downbeat about it and so sort of cautious. Maybe this is the time we actually do go and win, because every other time it's never really been like that. Maybe this is the time, and it has to be the time. You think about it in the context of the title race. This is huge that we win this game, because it's not too long now. It's under a month before we go to Ibrox. It's just over a month until the split commences. This is huge. This 3 points is massive, and depending on how the Rangers result goes today, and I'm presuming that Rangers will win, we really need to win tomorrow. That puts a bit more pressure on us, and we need to show we can deal with not only the pressure of that, because this is the first time of asking, but also the pressure of winning this game at Livingston. There's a kind of double entendre there. You know, we need to do it. And I'm hoping we do it, and I'm very confident we can do it. You know, we have been playing quite poorly the last few weeks. We know that. We haven't been great. But St Mirren, we picked it up in the second half. We showed what we can do when we're patient, and I think it's about being patient again. Now, I would love for us to go out and get an early goal tomorrow. I think that would be the most important thing in that game. If we can get an early goal, I think that would bring us to hopefully 3 points, but we will have to be patient. I think Livingston will sit back, they'll be deep, they won't open up the way they do against Rangers. I was looking at some photos earlier from the way that they played against Rangers when they visited. Within 8 minutes they were wide open, and Rangers could just dictate play and get in different spaces. They won't allow that against us. They never do, unless it's through honest mistakes. That's not going to happen. They will set up in a way to try and frustrate us and try and take us as long as possible to get a goal. We need to be able to deal with that, but we have to be able to deal with it while creating and while going down different avenues that we don't usually explore, because this cross into the box and hoping for the best won't be that successful against Livingston. It wasn't successful last time. I want to take us back to September, was it, last year, when we visited and they beat us 1-0. Throughout that game, we kept sending balls in the box to try and answer for the equaliser, to try and find ourselves back in the game. And every single time, without fail, the Livingston centre-halves, the Livingston defenders, and whoever else was in the box were first to win in each and every ball. They were sending it away, and we were getting absolutely nothing. And as the game dragged on, we looked less and less creative and less likely of scoring. That cannot happen again tomorrow with the way we've been playing in recent weeks, with the impatience of the Celtic fans in general. 3 stands of us, we're going to get anxious, we're going to get annoyed, because that's the fans that we are. And it's just going to become a bit of a cesspit in a sense, and it's going to be annoying. I think that'll frustrate the team, and I think it'll frustrate us, and it's just not going to work. It's going to cancel each other out, and it'll be horrible. I would love us to get an early goal, and I'd love us to be patient and waiting for that, but as long as we're doing the right things. We can't use the surface as an excuse. We need to turn up and we need to try different things if it isn't working right. That's been the problem the last few weeks for me. The fact that we have been so lifeless, so there has been a lack of energy, I think, in games, and we have been crossing and inshallah, hoping for the best. So, you know, I'm hoping that we change it up a little bit, and I'm hoping that David Martindale will finally fall to the sword, and we'll get something right. We're going to do a little bit of the opposition preview. I'm going to do it in a different sense because I didn't get time to make graphics. It's been a hectic week for myself. I've not had time to sit down and do graphics, so don't worry, they will be back. But we're going to open up the opposition via Google. The very reliable Google. I'm hoping everybody can see everything okay. This is the league table as it currently stands, and I will bring I'm seeing the chat popping off right now. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I'll get to the chat very shortly, and we'll answer some questions relative to the game and out with the game. So we will do that. This is the league table right now. As Aidan worded on Twitter the other day, I think Aidan's in the chat, Livingston have just suddenly spawned in the 4th place. We are playing Livingston at quite an annoying time. We are playing them at a time where they have picked up form, and as you can see by the last 5 games in the form table right now, apart from Celtic and Rangers, Livingston are currently doing the best in the league. This has came out of absolutely nowhere. They are flying and the confidence is high right now, and I hate that it's had to hit right before we play them. This is them in the table now then. They are 4th. They will probably finish in the top half at this rate, the way they're going. The top three is pretty much in concrete, but they are flying. The last few results, a massive win against Dundee United on Wednesday night. That was big. They pumped Dundee at the weekend. Some decent results in there. They were unlucky in the cup as well. But as you can see by that league table, we are playing them at a time which is proper frustrating. Because of how well they're doing, and now they are proper in search for a top half finish. However, in saying that, it is crazy how close that table is, because you give Livingston a couple of losses over the next couple of weeks, and they're suddenly 10th. That's how close it is between 10th and 4th in the table right now. 37 points, 32 points. There is only 5 points separating 10th from 4th in the table. So there is that conversation of, okay, maybe we're overestimating how good 4th place looks because of how close it is. But the main thing is, and the thing you can't underestimate, is the current form of the Livingston side. They are playing very well. They are in high spirits, and they will be looking for something. Thank you very much to Mark McQueen, by the way, for the donation. So it is crazy. Someone's saying they can't see. We'll zoom, if you can't see, we'll zoom it in. There we go. We'll zoom it in for you, just in case you can't. There is there. I have been dancing through. Everybody's like, zoom in, please. I'm so sorry. Right? Okay. Calm down. We've got it there. Everything I've said is still relative to the situation anyway. That's that. Look at it. It is quite frustrating to see that they have picked up form in this time. Just to once again show you the fixtures, their last few games, they have been very good. Some good results. They were very unlucky against Hearts, but as you can see here, beating Aberdeen with 10 men as well. There's some very, very good. And Wednesday night was, I think, the best result for them so far. A massive result against Dundee United, who have been decent this season too. That is the table, and as I said, very close between there and 10th, but they are a side right now, and we've talked about how they'll play. We've talked about how they'll frustrate us, and we need to get over that. We are a better side, and there shouldn't be any excuses. We could go out and play, make a few changes and play some players that don't see a lot of first team football. Your likes of Stephen Welsh, your likes of James McCarthy, and that. And we should still be beating Livingston. No disrespect, but we should be. And I'm wanting this embarrassing run at Almondvale to just finally come to an end. So what will be the team to do it? No worries, Adam. I hope you enjoy. What will be the team to do it? Well, let's get up what I think the team will be. We're going to get up and we'll do this together for a change rather than me having a pre-selected graphic. Let's get this up right here. I'm hoping that you can see this okay as well. We have got it up on screen. The 4-3-3, of course. We'll zoom it out a little bit. There we go. That should do it. Right, so I think that we all are in agreement that in goals, this is the team I'm going to field, right? This is a team that I need to move a wee bit closer. This is the team that I would be fielding for tomorrow's game. I would have Tony Ralston in there. I'd have CCV in there. I'd have Starfelt in there. I would have, and I'll come on to this because it's very hypocritical of me to have Juranovic at the left back position, but we'll come on to why I have in a moment. I'll have him in there. Thank you very much. I'll have him in there. Now this is difficult. What happens here? What happens? Because I've got Calmac there right now, but I think that there's a genuine conversation, to be honest, and I'll come on to your comments in a minute. I think there's a conversation for Beaton to start because of how dead Hatate looked at the weekend. And then we've got that, we'll come to it, the Rogic. And this is what I'm thinking for the team right now. This is what I'm going to put out as my team. And then we'll talk about it, right? So that is what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking for this weekend, for tomorrow. That's the team that I would field. And I'll let you think about what we should do. And I'll let you think and give me an opinion of what we should do as well after this. So that's the team that I've typed out. Now, Ralston Juranovic, the first talking point. I've been for weeks saying that you lose something with Juranovic on the left-hand side. However, it's not for me. However, I would start him over Taylor. And we spoke about this in the podcast. I think that Ralston at Livingston could be more of use. He makes chances. He's got a lot of assists this season. And I think we will need that. I think we need the precision that Ralston has provided at times this season. And that's why I want him to play. Yes, I'm not a big fan of Juranovic at left. I'd rather him in his position on the right, but I would rather Juranovic over Taylor. And I'd rather Juranovic over Scales. If you remember, Bolingoli actually started on the left-hand side against Livingston back in September. The big surprise that day, remember when the team came out. But I would start Juranovic. My middle decision, right? Okay, this is my explanation for this. So I've got Calmac, O'Reilly, and Beaton. Beaton, this isn't ideal. However, Hatate looked dead on his feet at the weekend. O'Reilly and Rogic doesn't work for me. I feel like we've been backed into a corner here with our midfield selection for the weekend, and I would start Beaton in that role. Now, say what you like about Beaton. Say he was poor against Bodo on that plastic surface as well. He slowed down the game. for me, I may have an interesting point from Matthew here. Welsh at centre mid for me. For me, we've been back to that sort of corner. We've not been allowed many options. Calmac looked decent in that way at the last sort of 10-15. When he got his goal the other night, he looked decent playing ahead. I think we need to start the game with this. If it's not working the first half, we change it up. But for me, I think we've been backed into a sort of corner with what we can do. Now, we've got Ideguchi available as well, but is he going to bring Ideguchi into the starting 11 for this game? No, I don't think so. I'm just being realistic. I don't think he will. So I think that this is a reasonable free for the first half anyway, but it relies on Beaton having a good game. And then the front three, it sort of picks itself for me if Giacomakis is ready to start the game. I like Maeda. I'm not dropping him out my team for any reasons other than I think Giacomakis suits this game a bit better. And I've been wanting Giacomakis back for this game, and I was hoping that he'd be fit specifically for this game, so he makes my starting 11 for this game. That's why. So that's my 11 personally. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat say Gucci. I just don't think he'll start. I would not mind. I wouldn't complain, but I just don't see it happening. Ayeti should start if GG's out. I think Ayeti started in September and he didn't offer too much, Zach. He didn't offer too much when he played in September, so I don't know if I'd be very much on that side, but I mean, if he's an option, he's an option. Mind if I ask, we drop Taylor and play Yerke on the left. I don't know if that's what you mean, but we lessen Yerke on the left. I think he is a bit lesser when he is on the left, but it's just it is what it is. Yeah, so that is my team. That is what I think the team will be tomorrow. And I know it's difficult and I know it's not ideal, but I think that's what I'm going to go for with mine. Right, score prediction before we go into some questions and answers. I'm going to go for a Celtic win. Yes, I don't know why, but we are. I've got to be confident, haven't we? I'm going to say 2-0 to Celtic. Wow, what a prediction for the Tony Macaroni. Couldn't believe that, could you? Yeah, 2-0 is what I'm going to go for. Right, get some questions in or such and we'll end off the stream. Can we have a no, Mikey? No, Michael, no. No, it's the wee pause where it's like, Michael. That's the best one. Michael, this isn't right. This isn't right. So any questions or such, let's get them on. Thoughts on Jonathan Hayes? Gorgeous. Well, if you've been here long enough, you'll know one of my favourites. Love the guy. Getting a lot of score predictions in now. 2-1. We've got from Peter, 1-0 from Aggie, 4-0 from Zach. Christ, that is ambitious, Zach, but I love it. 1-0 will be a hard one from the bounce. 3-1 odds for Celtic not to win. Matthew Duff adding into the chat. 1-0 Celtic Starfield, 94th minute winner. Now, if that comes up, I will personally give you your own show on the channel forever, Chris. But any questions or such, get them in. Has Jota's head turned towards Benfica? Asked Boys in Green. I don't know. You'd have to ask him yourself. He's not been great over the last few games, but I don't think that's anything to do with his decision and where he wants to be next season. After all, he's happy here. He's made that clear. He's happy here and he's on a loan. So he's here to finish that loan no matter what. I don't know. You could say his head's been turned, but at the end of the day, he's a Benfica player. So I don't know. You'd have to ask him yourself. I'm not one to make presumptions. It's not as simple as that for me when it comes to Jota. I think he's just had a difficult couple of games. Would you take a draw to keep us top? Asked Paul. Well, I'd take it. I want a win. I'd rather a draw than a loss. Water is wet, but I want to win. A draw would be disappointing. I think we really need to end this hoodoo here at the Tony Macaroni, and that comes with a win, not a draw. I really do want us to win. Do you think Maeda will step up next season? I'm confident Maeda will be a player for us. Confident, Peter. Absolutely confident. Abada front runner for Player of the Year. I don't know if he's the front runner per se, but he's certainly in the conversation, is what I would say. I don't think front runner, but he's certainly in the conversation for it. I just hope the players don't underestimate this game. We have got to play it like a cup final. Well said, Jake. You know, the standards have got to be high for this game. Absolutely. We've got to really turn up and play our best because this is a tough game. And it's the business end of the season now. Imagine Aberdeen spoil the birthday party. It would be a massive day in the title race. It would be, Adam, absolutely. And you know what? I wouldn't put it past Aberdeen with Brown in their team. But once again, I'm not going to put... a bit of pressure on that. Why is Martindale so baldy? Andrew, I wish I had the answer to that question. I really, really do. Should we take more risks in our attack in order to open LIVI up? Yeah, Liam, I spoke about that at the start. of the stream. I think so. We've got to be more ambitious. We've got to try different things. We can't just keep throwing the ball into the box, crossing the ball into the box and hoping for the best. We've got to have other ideas. We've got to have other plans up our sleeve, because this is a side who know how to keep us at bay for a long time, and we can't give them the same sort of same play. Kyle got apparently back for Dundee United. Matthew, I hope you're right in saying that. I need to go off and have a wee look into that, but I really am hoping so. I want him back as soon as possible. But yeah, do you know what? That'll do us for today. 20 minutes. I think that's enough to wrap it up. I've got to go out and get some stuff done. I'll be at the game tomorrow, probably with a drink, so I don't know what that means in terms of match reaction. I don't know if there will be one up tomorrow. It might be postponed till Monday. I don't know. We'll have a look and wait and see. Keep up with me on Twitter and such, and you'll find out probably. But thank you to everybody who has watched. Thank you if you have been watching when it's not live. And yeah, have a good Saturday. Enjoy your night, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Hail, hail, and I'll see you all